My name's Alan Douches. I'm from West Side Music. We're in Cornwall-on-Hudson in New York, and we're mainly a mastering facility, but we also do surround sound mixing and audio post for indie film. What is mastering? Yeah, that's a question that people ask a lot. It's kind of like the last stop. It's the last artistic step to potentially EQ, compress, add effects or whatever to that final master before it goes out. The process of mastering normally starts by just trying to listen to the mix first, assessing it, and then kind of trying to find the sense of where the record should be sitting. I'm not looking for what's wrong with a mix or a master or a song. I'm looking for what's right. Mastering has been a little over 20 years, kind of backed into it by a lot of records that I was producing at the time were being released on indie labels and they couldn't afford mastering. So I had been through enough mastering sessions to try to fake my way through it because what they were giving us on the indie level was kind of sucky. So I just learned how to do it myself, and it became a career. Animal Collective, LCD Sound System, Converge, Dillinger Escape Plan, Midlake, Sufjan Stevens, Misfits. I don't ever take credit for any of those artists' careers or their success, but certainly we helped them get into the marketplace where they were competing with the stuff that had a lot of money. I've worked as a tracking engineer, I've worked as a mixing engineer, I've worked as a record producer, I worked with major labels and with indies, and I understood a lot of the game. And I brought that to the indie marketplace saying, no, we've got to have a proper monitoring environment, we've got to have the right gear. This is why, I know I could do it cheaper with plugins, but it's not going to sound the same. We've got to have integrity about what we're doing here. And I think that's kind of just what happened for me, was that we struck the chord with the indie marketplace, with indie labels, and kind of that defined my sound. It wasn't so much that we were chasing after a major label sound as much as we were embracing an indie sound, but making it sound awesome. Oh, where's my coffee? Where's my coffee? I think artists that are true to themselves, they wear it on their sleeve, and it's pretty evident, and you wind up wanting to help them a lot more. I think a lot of the bands that are posers or that are copying, they're not really interested in it. They're just like, how quick can we get this done? I need this now, or whatever. Every once in a while, we'll get a record, and it'll kind of make me think, like, I think this is pretty cool. Because it's a little off the beaten path, and you're wondering as to whether or not they're either crazy or they're genius. Classic case for us was the Sufjan Illinoise record, and I remember turning to the artist and saying, like, Sufjan, this is just really awesome. And he was just like, you think so? And it's just like, yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, And you kind of know, you get an idea. It's like, this is going to be a great record. Digital has made everybody able to make a record, which is kind of awesome from an artistic standpoint. The thing that I think that's missing is an analog ear set. It's so rare that people hear a full-on pure analog signal. A lot of people don't know what that sounds like. My point was just to invite engineers in to just come in and try. I'm not saying that you have to record your album out analog, but learn what that sound is and appreciate what that sound is. And very often people are like, oh my God, that's amazing. Once you start over-processing in digital, you start losing a lot of that real clarity and depth and warmth that is in true analog form. The thing I love about our KEF speakers are they've got a situation where the tweeter and the woofer are firing from the same axis. They're a coaxial speaker. And so there's a lot less phase problems within the speaker. So right, sometimes when you have one speaker system, especially if it's a two-way speaker system, you've got a crossover. There's a lot of phase anomalies and where the drivers are aligned and everything. The KEFs I just love because they've got a singular point. We can really get a lot of clarity out of them. They're a good designed box. They're very dependable. We've had them for over a dozen years, 15 years now, and they're irreplaceable. I guess, God, I love what we do. And I guess the proof in the pudding in that is kind of, I have a daughter who's now 17, but as she was growing up, she started getting interested in being a singer-songwriter. And I've done everything I can to try to talk her out of it. But then she turns around and says, yeah, but Dad, you just love what you do and you have a great life. So why wouldn't I want to do that? and I can't argue with her because it's been great. I get a chance to work on creative music every day of my life and work on some pretty important, iconic records. It's been a lot of fun.